Welcome to another episode of the I'm Just Saying show. In light of the George Zimmerman verdict, we are doing a very special edition just to have some dialogue about the Zimmerman trial and the verdict. We have a panel of black males ranging in age from 18 to 50. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today. We have Brandon, who is in his early 30s. We have Steve, who is 50. On the other end of the spectrum, we have Javante, who is 18. David, who is in his late 40s. And we have Darrell, who is in his mid-20s. So, for anyone who has been living under a rock, George Zimmerman was actually charged with killing unarmed 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. And it has caused an outrage, especially in the black community, that he was found to be not guilty. So we're just going to jump right in, and we want some feedback from you guys. We just want to discuss and see what you guys feel about it.
I want everybody to go around the table so everybody can answer, chime in, and have a chance to talk. A male who happens to be white stated that, in so many words, Trayvon Martin was a thug and set himself up as a thug because of how he dressed and things he posted on social media. Mm-hmm. So basically, George Zimmerman did not profile him as a thug. He labeled himself as a thug. So I want to know, one, what you feel about that. And then two, I want each of the five of you to please talk about the outrage or lack of outrage from the black community over black on black as opposed to white on black crime.
When he was proven not guilty, I wasn't outraged at that. I was actually outraged at our response as the African American community.
Okay.
And to answer part two of your question, the reason why I was outraged is because I actually posted on Facebook, when it is black on black crime, I think I was Uncle Steve that said something. It's just another, or it's actually you, Uncle David. It's just something that happens and we keep going on. But because another race came in and took one of us out, now we want to call it racism. Now we want justice, and now we want this and other. But when it's ourselves, or I'm sorry, not to say when it's ourselves, it's the fact that we are willing to take out one of our own.
Right.
And I just don't think that's right. I think as the African American community that we should be together, we should be united, because if you look at any other race, the whites, even Asian, especially the Asian community, and I've learned a lot just from working under an Asian guy, is they are just so loyal to each other. If one of them makes it, he brings the next one with him. Whereas the African American community, what I've seen, one of them makes it, the rest are just left behind.
Right.
And that just isn't right. So we have to get ourselves together as a race. I don't think Trayvon profiled himself as a thug. I don't even know what the Webster definition is of a thug, but what I think did profile him was the actual media.
Okay.
I think the media has conditioned the America, even outside of America, they've conditioned people to think that the African American community are dangerous. And if you really think about how they show us, actually it was up until probably Obama took office that even if you were watching any movie or TV show, you would never see an African American person in power. The only reason why people are going to use that that he said this, that, and whatever on his Facebook is because now we have a serious situation where we're in the court of law. So now they're going to try to use this as actual evidence and actual facts. Whereas you can't. There's no proof that he's living this type of lifestyle, this, that, or other. And like you said, it's 2013. Everyone pretty much smokes weed. And for people that act shocked about it,
Should have been on our other show.
for people to act shocked about it is absolutely outrageous, because I mean, if you look at the entire West Coast, one by one, they're all legalizing marijuana. The case should have been about what happened that day in those 5 minutes.
I think the hoodie thing was an issue because our people took that picture and made it a symbol of unity, where the media took that picture and made it a symbol of danger. And they, that visual was contradictory. And like you were saying, like the media, was trying to portray him one way. Even if you look at the interview with the jury, the picture they had above her when she was talking, it was a picture of him grimacing, like he was a thug, like he was mean, with a picture of Zimmerman, you know, sitting there. And I thought, well, you know, I've seen pictures of Trayvon smiling.
Right.
So why did they pick that image?
Right.
I mean, it was like right above her head, like him mad. And so to me, that was even a symbol of them portraying him another way.
That's true.
As far as portrayal goes, though, whatever you do on social media or at the end of the day, how you portray yourself in everyday life, and I think that's the key word. You know, whatever you put up, wherever, his life was still valuable. He still was a man, a kid. He was somebody's son, somebody's friend. So whatever he was doing, Zimmerman was portraying himself as a cop, almost. You know what I'm saying? He portrayed himself as what he aspired to be, and for whatever reason couldn't get there. And he used that to justify him taking Trayvon's life. We not outraged with the black on black till it's somebody in our family. Or somebody close to us. Or
can I ask you why is that, do you think?
It goes back to the unity, like he was talking about. For whatever reason, we don't know how to, you know, celebrate each other's success. We celebrate each other's failures more than we do our success. We don't know how to take somebody else with us. You know, we have a lack of trust in our community. We have a lack of all of the major things that should keep us together. We can even go back to single parent homes. It's just so many different things that you can look at that contribute to that factor. So I mean, sometimes it's kind of hard to say will we ever pull together like that. The other cultures and races that are unified, I can't say that you see that amount of violence in them. We unify when it comes to violence. We can kill somebody quick, but we can't, you know, then all of a sudden we having a candlelight vigil. You know, that's one thing I see. I don't ever see, you know, other cultures, somebody get killed or something, how everybody want to go get a candle and a sweatshirt and spray paint. That's just something we do as a culture. But why we not proactive so we don't have to get to that point?
That's very interesting.
Well, I think with the hoodie thing and Trayvon portraying himself as a thug, I'm with Real. That's a media thing. Hip hop has created a culture that is very diverse. Every people, young people, you know, they're young people, takes part in hip hop.
It transcends race.
Transcends race. And I think the big issue is that defense used those jurors' racism as a tool, because they used every say that again, son? Yeah, every stereotype. Exactly. They used every stereotype. They discredited the witness by the way she talked. They went into the hoodie thing. It's a thug thing. And I think for the most part, again, it comes down to there's a certain group of people who has the power and who's utilizing the power. Should we be outraged because black on black crime versus as well as the white on black? All of them are conditions. We've been conditioned in every category. We've seen so much black on black crime that we're not surprised by it. We are disappointed, but it's just another thing because we've seen it's been so prominent and since this economy turned like it did, it's really gotten worse. But when you start talking about black on white, again, nobody was surprised because the laws were not made for us. They were made for us. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
Yes.
It was, you know, so we always seem to suffer the biggest brunt of it. The prison system is a prime example of it. You're talking about people that represent 12% of the population, but yet still 90% of the prison systems. We have over 1 million men in prison. And the sad thing is that the way people view blacks here in America is no different than it is anywhere around the world.
Trayvon was 17 years old. I'm 18. As a kid going through high school, you want to look cool. Like now these days, kids, no matter what race, white, black, Hispanics, the smoking weed thing is a popular thing now. Like everybody's doing it. Everybody posts pictures of them, you know, doing smoking weed, having the smoke coming out their mouth for likes. I don't think he was doing this stuff as a thug. Like we kids that I've been around at high school just pretty much do that for show. Back to the hoodie thing, like I was saying, I mean, Hollister. I say this all the time. Hollister is a clothes brand specifically for white people. It's not meant for black people, and they make hoodies. So why, when a black man puts on a hoodie, is portrayed as a thug, or we portrayed as or doing something dangerous, when it's just specifically to keep you warm and protect your head from, you know, getting cold or whatever. So I think they should just let the whole hoodie thing go. Also, when George Zimmerman was following Trayvon Martin, did he know the pictures he was putting on Facebook? Did he know he was, how can you judge him off something that you're not seeing? Like, nobody knew nothing about Trayvon.
Very good.
The time of when Trayvon was killed, nobody knew nothing about Trayvon's lifestyle. All we knew that night was he was wearing a hood, he had an Arizona watermelon tea, and he had some Skittles.
And I see.
Very good.
I feel like the whole the thug thing still, even if he was a thug, let's say he was a thug, does that still give you the right to kill him when he did nothing wrong to you and nothing wrong to nobody? So I just, dang, I got all wound up there. You had no right to stalk him. You had no right to gun him down, and you had no right to pretty much lie on his life like that.
As far as the thug thing, you know, with him wearing a hoodie and the way that the media portrays black men in hoodies, we all know, if we watch the 11 o'clock news every night, it is the ongoing joke of everybody who's ever been robbed on the street, 2 black males in hoodies. That's the ongoing joke within the white community and the black community.
Susan Smith.
Exactly.
Yeah. 2 black guys.
Who killed her own children,
Right.
and created this.
We all know that racism is alive and well in America. Racism is alive and well in the world. In this particular case, Zimmerman decided to deal with it in his media portrayal of what he viewed as the individual who's been robbing homes in that particular community. You know, so him having a little bit of a police background, not much. He couldn't get a job as a police officer. But him, you know, at least having some training, some background that may allow him to think that he knew what he was doing, and then having what the media has portrayed to him as the robbers who are robbing and pillaging in his particular community.
Although he wasn't carrying anything to show that. Right.
And he didn't.
Right.
So he decided, hey, tonight is my night. Look, I'm on watch tonight, and look what I got here. A black male who meets the description of the individuals who've been robbing in this neighborhood. Did he portray himself as a thug?
Right.
Every child that I know has a hoodie. And when I look at him, I don't see a thug. I see a child in a hoodie.
Right.
We have been preconditioned. You could take this thing all the way back to slavery if you want to. We have been preconditioned to dislike ourselves.
Absolutely.
So I don't like a light-skinned black guy because he's light-skinned.
Yeah.
He don't like me because I'm black.
Yeah.
And even in that culture, that slavery culture,
That's true.
he was in the house, air conditioned, feeling good, looking good. I was out in the field, and I didn't like him because I was there, and he didn't like me because of where I was.
You were beneath him, even though y'all were the same race.
We were the same race. Okay. So, therefore, as you begin to build up from that time frame, that has not gone away. We still don't like ourselves.
Yep.
We don't, the public, we don't, especially the African American public, we don't have this kind of outrage when it's black on black crime. So, you know, want to draw blood to see this white man go to jail when we have so many of ourselves killing ourselves. I ain't really, trying to join that bandwagon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel you.
This is just my own opinion here now, and I'll share that. There are certain people in my mind that the upper echelon of whites will say, we will allow this to exist to suppress this particular group. We're going to rise above all this and tell all you guys that that doesn't exist. But I'm going to allow this group to suppress this group. And that way you can never rise. And then when I see you getting too outrageous, I'm going to let one of y'all bubble up to the top and say, see, you can be a success just like this one. And we end it right
You
there.
always allow that exception.
We always. That way I can give you hope.
That token.
But there is no hope.
In reality.
Like Django. Django, he was free, he rode the horse.
Like the Django. The Django.
You know, the biggest thing, I think the thing that is the biggest question for me in this whole trial, by definition, is this fearing for your life thing.
Okay.
Trayvon looked just like Javante. Same size, pretty much same height, everything. The Zimmerman guy wasn't a little guy himself. He was short, maybe.
And he took
MMA.
MMA for a year.
MMA.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And he got a gun on him.
Wow.
If I know I got all that in my pocket and I'm following this kid,
Right.
I'm not scared of that guy. First of all, even if I ain't got the gun, I ain't scared of him.
Right.
Because first, not for my life.
You're a trained fighter.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
That's just what he said.
I would look at, can I win a fight with him? But I'm never thinking at any point, this guy could possibly kill me. I've never been in a fight in my life where I've been fearful for my life. Never.
What's extra sad is the guy that trained George Zimmerman said that George Zimmerman don't even know how to throw a punch.
Look at it,
How?
I train fighters, so I can, I mean, you size people up. Maybe you can call it profile if you want to, but you size everybody up before you make your approach. Okay, and it's nothing more than profiling. I'm gonna size you up, even if I'm in the bar and I'm just kicking and I'm looking at this dude who's doing whatever. I'm already sized you up and decided if I can take you or not.
Absolutely.
Okay, so when George Zimmerman made that approach, he may not have thought he could take him physically, but he had his backup.
But he knew what he had.
Exactly.
And his backup was his firearm. So he knew as soon as I could get, if this guy starts anything, I'm going straight to my backup.
Okay.
And if I'm really that fearful of my life, I'm going out with my strap in my hand. So what are you doing around here? But that way I'm letting you know I'm the boss here.
Right.
So obviously he went up with that thing still tucked away. When the fight started getting nasty, and when I say nasty, he says he pounded his head on the ground, not with those types of scratches. Okay, now if Zimmerman, and I'm sure Trayvon sized him up too, real quick, and said, okay, I'm not taking this.
Yeah, he's a creepy cracker.
Yeah. You already sized him up. So now I can see the now, and I'll tell you right now, Trayvon being 17 wasn't no skillful fighter either.
Right.
I was just gonna say, here's where I love you being on this panel. You're 18. You're the closest to Trayvon Martin that we have here. White man, and you go to a predominantly white school. I'm sorry, you graduated now, young man, from a predominantly white school. Oh, okay. Shout out 2013. But and an older white man comes up to you. What do you mentioned before? You don't run. You say, hey, what are you doing? Follow me. And then what do you do? Do you engage him when he gets physical? Do you, hey, mom, I'm calling my mom, I'm running, I'm fighting. What do you do? That age, that young teenager.
As a teenager, well, teenagers, we think we grown, so we do grown or act like we grown. I'll admit it. My mom would tell you. So, as a teenager, I would say, yo, like, why you follow me? Is there a problem? Then if things would have got serious from there, then that's when you call, a parent or, someone that can, come to the scene quickly because you don't want to get involved. You don't want the Trayvon Martin thing to happen.
Okay.
So as teenagers, thinking we grown and, we big and bad, yeah, we will confront, that person first, but then when things start to get, especially when an adult, if it's an adult, yeah, then we go, call like, listen, this grown man That's when we go back into baby kitty mode. Like,
Okay.
this grown man is, you know, he trying to pick a fight with me. But say it's another 17-year-old boy or a kid, it's, you know, throw your dukes up, you know, we about to shoot.
Okay.
Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, that's what's about to go down, but
Because I'm thinking I have a young son, he's not 20 or a teen, but he's in his early 20s, and I could see him like Trey talking to his girlfriend, and then, hey, what's up, dude? Why you phone? But then hanging up. Mom, this dude out here following me. I think my son's first thing would be to call his mother. Shut up.
Yes, definitely.
That's you can be a
You
mom.
put that all over the internet?
But I'm serious. But Javante affirmed that as a young teen. You guys might not, because you're all older men. So you're seeing it as a man coming on a man. Trayvon, like Javante, I'm sure he did not see that coming from man to man. He saw that coming grown man
Why is he
to
picking
child.
on me?
Right. He had to feel, that's why I love him being here, because no, he's not Trayvon, but he's in that same, you know what I'm saying, demographic.
I think that this has been a really good show and an insight, especially coming from the male perspective and the black male perspective, because everybody, as a woman or a white person or whatever, we can empathize, but we really don't know. So, I mean, I'm glad that the audience get to hear from the full spectrum from 18 to just in the 50s.
No, in the 50s, not in the 50s.
Okay, well, 50 is in the 50s, it's not in the 40s. 80 is in the 50s.
Well, anyways, I want to thank you guys for coming. We really appreciate it. Just final thought going around.
As Judge Fulton said, I think that the ultimate issue here is that law.
Yep.
And honestly, I believe that to be the truth. Just because you can't leave it to a judge nor 6 jurors to determine whether someone is in fear of their lives. Whether he's guilty nor not guilty, that'll bring this law to light. And this law will be brought up in the court, discussed, dissected, swayed, and hopefully just taken apart.
I like stand your ground laws, simply because I will not be victimized by anyone. But you have to have certain limitations. You open up Pandora's box when you say, I can go out, pick a fight, be in fear for my life, and kill you. So that portion of the law has to be strict. You can't have that broad of a spectrum of that law. But I do have a right to defend my house, my car, and my body. Okay, so if you come to rob me, that's a whole different world. Okay, but I'm not gonna come pick a fight with you, lose that fight, say, oh, I'm fearing for my life, and kill you, and then be justified in doing so.
So you like the limited standard?
I like the limited, but I need to know what the limited portions are.
Okay. Final quick thoughts?
pretty much agree. I think though, you definitely have a right to stand your ground. You know, like you said, you defend your body, your house. You know, but to pick a fight, lose, and then since I lost, I'm gonna kill you. I think that definitely needs to be changed. I think it's real sad, you know, because once again, we only have one side of the story, and yeah, that's all I pretty much have.
Steve, very brief.
Okay.
Final thoughts?
I think even with that one side of the story, that was still more than enough to convict them. But at the core of it all, Rail hit it on the head. That law has to be revisited because it's far too vague. I mean, it just leaves too much to the imagination. And imagination is where we got stuck with this in this trial. Imagination, trying to figure this thing out.
I like that. Imagination is where we got stuck. That's powerful. Brandon, final thoughts?
I just think had you stayed in the car, nobody would have had to stand their ground. So, imagination is what we stuck with.
Yeah.
I'm Darrell, and I'm just saying, I don't have much to say.
I'm David, and I'm just saying, timing is everything.
I'm Javante, and I'm just saying, go follow me on Twitter at JXSmith15 and Instagram at Booker_Sugar.
I'm Stephen, and I'm just saying, only person who was fearful in that whole case was Trayvon Martin.
I'm Brandon, I'm just saying, keep God first.
I'm Teak, and I'm just saying, don't move to Florida.
I'm Shani, and I'm just saying the Trayvon Martin family is in my prayers.
I'm Dee, and I'm just saying, if you do move to Florida, take your gun, stand your ground.
I'm Chris, and I'm just saying, I'm standing my ground.
My name is Donnie, and I'm just saying, bitches be tripping.
This is Brandon. I'm just saying, if you want to learn how to play the piano or the drums, go to www.gclefmusic.org or call me at 330-328-1992. I'm just saying.
I'm Mimi, and I'm just saying, if you can't drive and pick your nose at the same time, don't pick your nose. Just drive.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh, I was waiting.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Wait. I'm Darrell, and I'm just saying.
What you just saying?
Oh, I have to say something?
Oh my God! No, I ain't have to say nothing. I ain't got nothing to say.
3, 2.
Oh, I forgot about the point thing. Start This is Brandon. I'm just saying, if you want to learn how to play the piano or the drums, go to
Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2.
this is Brandon. Hey man, this is silly, man.
Anybody else? Was anybody else outraged or have a reaction to the verdict?